Hey there. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Just Talk. The series that we're just going to sit here and shoot the breeze on whatever comes into our minds. And today is going to be a topic I spoke about it before, and I think I'm going to speak about it again because it's worth a deep dive into. And that is the legacy of Kevin Samuels. Yes, it's been talked to death. Yes, I've spoken to about it before. But it's come to my attention that there have been some different viewpoints that needs to be addressed regarding that topic. And so that's what we're going to do this evening. And we're going to begin it the way it's always begun. And that is at the beginning. I'm about to play you guys a snippet from JustPearlyThings. And the episode is entitled Kevin Samuels' Legacy. I'll be stopping it to give some perspectives on it. And we'll just have to see where it goes from there. Okay, let me get it. Hold on a second. Let me get it up. Bear with me a minute, please. Okay, here we go.
No, I don't. I just don't feel like they can handle it within themselves if the shoe was to fit.
Right.
Like if the shoe fit, I don't think they would be able to say to themselves, "I am
What he's describing.
Yeah.
what he's describing."
And they don't want to look in the mirror and say, he's
But
talking about
I
me.
wouldn't say that's the case for everyone. But in terms of it's as I said, delivery.
Because the people that were celebrating his death, yeah, when men weren't celebrating his death like that.
Yeah.
Like, go on.
I think also, on the other end, aside from the dating advice, he had some very different beliefs. And say this one, he was talking with a lady, and I think she had gotten a divorce or something. But basically, he was saying if your child is saying that your partner sexually assaulted them, that you shouldn't believe the child. No, this is on video. Like he said that you shouldn't. Why would you believe the child?
Cap, straight cap. And later on in this video, in addition to the comments, was also made aware of, to the panel that that's not what he said. That's not what he said at all. But it fits the narrative, so that's what she went with. What really gets my goat about a lot of people in this space, people that feel the need to talk about it and opine and put their 2 cents in, is this. You can't view one clip. You can't view one soundbite and expect to make a coherent, logical argument. Because clips can be manipulated in a myriad of ways to serve any number of options. So why would you do it? Except if you're trying to score points. Let's continue.
Like they're lying. Like you're gonna ruin.
Hang on.
No,
hang
I'm not.
on,
No,
hang
no,
on.
I'm not making this up. He's like, you
think
know,
I've
you're
seen
gonna
that
give
video.
away your relationship for your child.
Yeah.
Like you're just gonna believe your.
Straight cap. Once again, straight cap. The woman is talking out the side of her neck. She thought she heard that. Or more to the point, she believes she heard it because it fits her narrative. I'm not saying that she hates Kevin Samuels. I'm not saying that at all. But she seems to be leaning toward that. And the reason why she's leaning towards it is because she feels that his tone could have been better. I think that's coming up. Let's listen to some more.
Your child, and the lady's like, hell yeah! If you're telling me that a grown adult is touching my child, why would I? And
He
he's
said
like,
that.
I don't.
did.
I don't. Think
I haven't seen that.
Did he get to touch?
I
him?
need to
thought
see
he
that.
said-
I need to see
for
that.
me to be able to.
I'm not
You know
saying
he
you're
did.
lying,
No,
but
he did. I
No,
I can confirm.
I'm my
I thought it was
feelings
just
are not
looking.
in this. Like this is quite literally like the one of the most controversial things before his passing. Like
Yeah.
quite.
Okay. Straight cap. Because she's now tripled down on it. And she's tripled down on it because she's getting pushback from the fellas in the panel. Now, Sarah actually says, to his credit, that he needs to hear it himself because it doesn't sound like something that he would say. And there's nothing wrong in that. Nothing wrong in it at all. And she continues down this path of foolishness. You were saying?
Quite recently, and he's like, "Why would you believe the child?" And so that is very.
No,
if
but
he said that, that's wild.
Yeah, he said
'Cause I
that.
thought it was something to do with if your child comes out the bath naked and your significant other was to look at them. That's what I remembered. Like, and then the case was if the child said something. But I can't.
That is more in line as to what was said during that episode. Notice there was no mention of the things that she accused the man of saying. And once again, because he's no longer alive, he can't defend himself. And that's the biggest thing about it. And legacies and legends and things like that. Those things don't normally happen till after the subject no longer exists. And because they no longer exist, their words can be construed, manipulated into any sort of thing they want. And they don't think there's going to be any pushback because the person that said it's no longer around to defend himself. Really? But let's continue.
Can't remember, like, if that's the case, then that's a bit.
Yeah.
That's wild. If he
Yeah.
said, believe the
But
child.
I
Yeah.
just saw.
Don't
I
believe
just
the
heard the part where, of course, like you come out the place naked. It's your child. Like it's a child. Like why? Because there's two parts to it. It's like okay, it's a child. So technically, if they come out naked, I know it's a bit weird. Like you shouldn't see them that way anyway. It's
Yeah.
like okay, they run around that way anyway.
Yeah.
Stuff. Like, they
Children
run-
do.
Yeah, they do that.
Yeah.
So, but on the other hand, it's like, okay, this person is not my child's father. So that may be a different angle towards
Right.
it. So if they come out the shower naked and then they're looking at them and then they say something,
Yeah.
that's a different story. Because that's not the child's father.
What else did he do wrong, do you think?
I don't think he did.
I think it's,
If he did do anything.
it's a bit in the middle because I do believe that some of his advice was head on. Like if meeting someone, you're going off of looks. Just meeting someone doesn't mean that that's going to be the substance of your relationship. But firsthand, how does this person look? Like, you're not walking up to someone that is unattractive in your eyes.
Right.
And so, no, like, sure, lose weight. You want to be in your best health. Change
No,
your...
women didn't like him saying that.
No, but that's...
They don't like him saying that.
Yeah, I know that. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of people do not find, like, fat attractive.
Listen, I know plenty of guys that like big girls that are attractive.
No, I'm not saying that. But
I like a little bit of a fupa myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, if you got a little bit of a fupa, I might be there. You know what I'm saying?
The skinniest person, but as long as you're maintaining health, and I think that was his point of saying, do something with yourself. You can't be in your worst condition and wondering, why the next person doesn't like me. Shit, you don't.
This one talking now. In a previous relationship, I was feeling her. This podcast, she's all over the place. All over the place. She'll start down one path, she'll get some pushback, go, no, that's not what I said. It's exactly what you said. That's why I called Cap the verse 3 times. If you have a position, stick to it until proven otherwise. And then be adult about it and mature enough about it to say, okay, I never thought of it that way. But to start on the left, then trickle toward the middle, and trickle toward the right, and then bounce back to the middle, and bounce to the right, then left, you're all over the place. Not a good look.
You don't even like yourself, so how would someone else like you?
Right.
So I think it was more on that side, but
What do you think of his delivery?
The delivery was terrible.
yeah.
This is what I described Kevin Samuels as, right?
No.
I described Kevin Samuels, as the Amazon delivery driver who just throws your package at the door. Yeah? He throws your package at the door. However, the package is still inside.
Yeah, that's true.
The thing that you need, the thing that you want is still inside. And you got upset and angry at the way it was delivered. Not every Amazon delivery driver is going to knock on your door and be like, how you doing, ma'am? How you doing, sir? Here's your package. Have a good day. Some of them are going to throw it at your door and just go on the next. But the question for me is, did you get your package?
Yeah. But was the package broken when I got it?
No, it's intact.
So here's the thing.
How'd you know?
It's intact because
hypothetically.
It's hypothetical. It's like
But hypothetically, you didn't say that. Hypothetically, you said he's the Amazon driver that threw the
package.
Yeah.
And
but
left.
as a
Only the
metaphor,
person knows.
But the package,
when they open up the package, whether it's broken.
if it's broken, that's because
That's a different-
You didn't get the
Don't like him. Don't like him at all. The gentleman in the middle. Because he likes to play both sides of the fence. And in a situation like this, in a debate like this, there is no middle. You're pro, you're con, you're for, you're against. But to sit in the middle, not taking either side, but having something to say about both sides, that's wrong.
message.
Yeah.
right, exactly.
Okay.
The message is what's inside. Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
So you can get the message. Someone can give you a message.
Yeah.
They can tell you, like, your trainers are.
By the way, that Amazon delivery analogy was spot on. Spot on. Kevin Samuels is the Amazon driver who just throws your package at you and leaves. Could something be said for the delivery? Yes. It could have been done a lot neater, a lot nicer. But the bottom line is this. The package was intact. You got the message. And sometimes, actually quite a few times, the content of the message is more important than the method of delivery. You can be mad at the messenger all you want, but you can't deny the message. If I told you tomorrow that you're fat and you're ugly and nobody likes you, that's me giving you a message. Are you gonna like that? Well, probably not. But if you looked in the mirror and saw a fat, ugly person nobody liked, you'd be like, maybe he's right. In an ideal world, that's exactly what happened. But we don't live in an ideal world. We never have, we never will. So what you get is a bunch of butthurt people being upset over someone speaking their truth. When I first listened to Kevin Samuels, I used to think that he was a bit much. Man, did he have to talk to her like that? My goodness, that was kind of rough. But the more I listened to him, the more I was like, get him. And the reason why I began to switch and go more on the side of he's going in and go get him is because you listen to a lot of the callers. I would say like 98% of the callers. They would call in and after a few minutes of listening to them, and Kevin would listen to them, ask them a few pointed questions, and then make an assessment. And they'd be like, no. And then he'd run down the stats and statistics explaining his point of view. Then they try to overtalk him. Then they use sign language. Shame, insult, guilt, and need to be right. Every single time. That train is never late. So after a while, you get to think, well, shoot. They ain't listening to me anyway. I'm going to go for mine. I don't care. I'm going to speak my truth, whether they want to hear it or not. And the thing that most people don't understand about Kevin, and it's also stated later on in the video, is that, actually, no, it was more in the beginning. Kevin Samuels said what he said and did what he did out of love. He wanted to see the best for black men and black women. He wanted them to be together. He wanted to see more matches, more long-term relationships, more marriages, more children. He wanted to see us better as a culture. And this is the thanks he gets.
Are black. Mm-hmm. And they can say, your trainers are fucking black. Mm-hmm. It's the same message, right? But it was delivered differently.
Yeah.
Okay, and here's what I want to say to that, because I think I saw something about this online, because I saw a lot of conversations about, Kevin Samuels and his legacy. And one thing I saw that I think is critical is talking about like impact versus intent. So, let's say
Cap. I call Cap. The women are 2 for 2 in spewing Cap. Why do they say that? Just listen.
That Kevin Samuels really wanted to position himself as someone who's providing this counsel to people so they can make decisions based on what's available to them. Fine, that could have been his intent, right? But then the impact when you are essentially berating, because some of the videos I saw, he was downright berating these people. Like,
he didn't berate anybody. He didn't berate anybody. He called it as he saw it. And he matched the energy of his callers. And he said as much. He said it constantly. He would tell people, this is my show, and we'll do things my way. You can't overtalk me, because if you overtalk me, things won't go well for you. And women would continue, and then he'd finally break it down. More cap upcoming.
Like, there's no way to get around it. I saw videos of him berating both men and women. And so let's say that he wanted to provide this advice to them so that they could basically, improve their lives and, make better decisions. The way he went about it was almost like an insulting way. And
okay, I'm taking issue with advice. He didn't give advice. It wasn't his place to give advice. You taking it as advice doesn't necessarily make it so. What he did was, after listening to the situation that the woman or man found themselves in, he'd give an assessment. And then he would offer ways for them to better reach their outcome. And if they pushed back on it enough, he would then let them have it. But advice as such, I don't think so.
I feel as though like that kind of like the impact of that is hurtful. So whether or not the message was even received is questionable, because now they're so focused on their hurt and the things that have been done to them that they're not able to see, okay, is there any truth in what he's saying? And I think that's where the problem lies.
In most people's eyes, in everyday lives, I could see where she's coming from. In most people's lives, in everyday lives, in everyday interactions and things, yeah, there is something for being able to articulate a message in a way that is pleasing. But once again, that negates the fact that he started out pleasing. He was always respectful. Ma'am, ma'am, ma'am. And then she'd say something outrageous and outlandish. You're like, wait a minute. You're being delusional. How would you rate yourself? I'm a 10. No, ma'am, you're not a 10. You're average at best. And the woman would get offended and would get all butthurt and upset. To quote Kevin Samuels, you can't make this shit up.
I think it is. I think Kevin Samuels is older.
Okay.
Yeah. And the two people that tell the truth unequivocally, in my experience, are children and old people. A child will look at you and be like, "Oh, you got a bogey in your nose." That's what a child would do, right? Because they it's the innocent.
Yeah.
And then the older person will be like, "What's that shit in your nose? Get that." And the thing is, I think with Kevin Samuels, he's an older person who just wanted to say what he wanted to say. He didn't care about your feelings. He just wanted to say what he wanted to say.
I think his delivery was necessary, even though it was a bit harsh. It was necessary because from the videos I saw, he's talking to people who are deluded. So
Straight facts. Straight facts. I find no fault in what he's saying. And it goes back to what I've said before. When you're talking to people and you're trying to make a point, and they sidestep and they faint, or they badger you, you get to a point where you're like, oh, screw this niceness. To heck with it. The fangs come out and you go all in. That was Kevin Samuels. Once again, he would start out pleasant, ma'am. He'd ask questions to ascertain the woman's physical looks. He wasn't concerned as much about emotional. And I think that's where a lot of women got upset. Because they're looking at it from an emotional standpoint. He's looking at it from a physical standpoint. He's looking at it from a man's standpoint. You call into a man's show trying to understand man issues, and then when the man tries to explain it to you, you don't want to hear it? No. No. You call into a man's show. The host is male. You have a problem dating men. So you call into the show to find out what's going on, what's wrong. And they call in under the delusion of thinking that he's going to side with them and blame it on the men. Newsflash, it's a men's show made by men, for men. It started out as a straight male show, and he was talking about getting men to be the best versions of themselves. That's how the show got its start. Did it become theatrical? Yeah. I would say so. Because to quote Eric Bischoff, controversy sells. So you want to be contrary. You want to be argumentative. Because that's what gets the people in. That's what gets the people in. Agreeableness doesn't work. Not in this medium, not in this space, not in this time. Agreeableness works when it helps to bolster the controversy. You have you do a contrary point, and then you get to someone to agree to it. Otherwise, that stuff don't fly. But I digress.
Again, from the things, from the videos I saw, not everyone who he spoke with. Mm-hmm. So, for example, if I'm sitting here and telling you I want to get Rihanna, that's my goal, and that's what I deserve, and I deserve nothing less. In reality, you guys are gonna be thinking, "What the fuck are you talking about?" In reality, and if you wanted to be honest with me, you would speak to me in the way Kevin Samuels spoke, depending on how braggadocious I was in saying I deserve Rihanna and nothing else.
Okay.
So.
And once again, I find no fault in what he's saying. The braggadocious in his example can be said to the people who come across as convinced to the point of conceit. They're so confident they're so confident in themselves that they come across as being overconfident. And then once the check is applied to it, once Kevin Samuels checks them on what they're saying, that's when the argument starts. That whole video is 2 hours and some change, and they cover a myriad of topics, dovetailing in between with the Kevin Samuels argument. It is recommended viewing, highly recommended viewing. I have a subscribe to the channel. I have hit that notification bell, and every time something new comes on, I watch it. Sometimes I agree, sometimes I don't. But all in all, it's good stuff. And getting back to the whole Kevin Samuels legacy thing, Kevin Samuels was a man, first and foremost. So anything he did outside of this show, he did. And it falls in the realm of him being a man. It has been said that he was, when he died, he had a white girl servicing him. And he died of a heart attack. That's neither here nor there. He's just a man. He's got needs, he's got urges, he's got desires. And he had that lady satisfy them. Consensually. I see nothing wrong in that. And yet, you get people who were celebrating his death, like he was the Antichrist or something. What? What the? Are you serious right now? Are you serious? One thing my mother, God rest her soul, always taught us growing up is that if you have nothing nice to say to somebody, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Just keep it moving. And that's how I feel the whole thing should have been dealt with. Kevin Samuels is not for everybody. If you don't like him, you don't like him. Okay. Do you have something to say about him that's negative? I'd rather you didn't, but it's a free country. But when you start dancing on his grave, when you start praising that his karma came due, because you got butthurt over a perceived slight that had nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. Kevin Samuels was trying, first through men and then through women, to get the culture back together again, to get them on the road back to where they need to be. There are thousands of people doing the same thing with various degrees of success using various methods and strategies. If you don't like one, turn it off and find another. You don't call into a show that is unabashedly pro-male. And it wasn't always pro-male because he would get down on the brothers too. But you don't call into a show that is unabashedly pro-male, spewing things out the side of your neck with nothing to back it up, and then expect him to be, oh yeah, let's all do a pity party and jump on the men together. No. If this is truly what you want, if you want X, Y, and Z, you need to do X, Y, and Z to get there. End of story. And if you can't meet some criteria, oh well. It is what it is. You're going to have to settle. And women look at settle like it's a bad thing, like submission is a bad thing. No, it's not. Settling is another way of saying you're going to make do with the current situation and use it to your advantage. Make the best out of it. That's it. Submission is the acceptance of a dominant figure in a relationship and riding with it. That's it. Like with submission, I can't submit to a man, but I'll give him the snatch. Your body is the most important thing that you have to give to anyone in your life. You give that up without a second thought. But you got conditions when it comes to submission. No. Straight no. I don't think so. These clips, these shows, the very fabric of existence is draining. People are exhausting. People are not to be trusted. You can like people, but don't trust them. I trust you about as far as I can throw you. But in actuality, I trust you as far as I can throw you, but half it. As stated before, this video is about 2 hours and almost 3 hours long. I'll pin it in the chat, in the comment section below, and you can watch it at your leisure. Please watch it. And before you come to a conclusion, think about it. Sit down and actually think about what was said, points, counterpoints, all that stuff like that. And make your mind up afterward. And that's the point of not only this series, but the podcast and on this channel in the whole. Watch it. Laugh, cry, whatever. Whatever it's called for, do it. Then sit down. Let it percolate in your head. Think about it. Weigh the pros and cons. Formulate an opinion. Formulate a conclusion. And rock with it. That's it. Hopefully, the content that we throw up benefits at least one person. Because if one person consumes the content and is better off for it after weighing it and thinking about it and deciding upon a course of action and applying it to their lives, then their job is done. Job done, we win. Woohoo. And with that, we come to the end of another one. Please excuse the meandering that I do on my podcast from time to time, but it's one of those things where I'll be talking about something will pop into my head, and I'll want to veer off in that direction. Eventually, I will circle back, but I do apologize for those who find it a bit disjointing. But, as always, the rule of 3. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so that you'll be aware and alerted to new content that is uploaded. Those 3 things will help YouTube and its algorithm organically push our stuff out to more people, and we'll organically grow. And that's what we want to do. We want to get the word out to as many people as possible. And we can't do that without you. So for those who do that, the ones who are subscribing, the ones who are liking it, the ones who are hitting the notification bell, thank you. Thank you for all that you do. You will be rewarded. Just keep watching. We got some stuff for you coming. Until the next, this is OBJ saying, peace to you. And good night.